Welcome to the seventh episode of Frames of the Future, a brand new podcast presented by the Eleanor International Film Festival. This podcast is dedicated to connecting with filmmakers and creatives from around the world, offering an inside look into their projects, their process, and the stories behind the work. We believe every artist deserves the opportunity to share their creative vision with an audience, and Frames of the Future was created to do exactly that. If you're interested in being a guest on the podcast, feel free to send us a DM or email us at contact@eleanorrosefilmfestival.com. The Eleanor Rose International Film Festival is a global celebration of bold, innovative storytelling, bringing filmmakers from around the world together in the heart of Pennsylvania. Taking place May 29th through 31st, 2026, at the historic Roxy Theater, Northampton, the festival features theatrical screenings on the big screen, a glamorous red carpet experience, exclusive networking events, and insightful talks and Q&As led by industry professionals. Whether you're an emerging artist or an established filmmaker, Eleanor Rose is where stories connect, ideas collide, and the future of film takes center stage. In today's episode, we're excited to welcome the festival founder, Jacob Jones. Jacob Jones is an entrepreneur working in talent representation in the entertainment industry. He is the founder of the Eleanor Rose International Film Festival with a deep passion for storytelling and innovation. He recently co-created this very podcast, expanding the festival into the audio field. He's driven by a commitment to push the boundaries of what entertainment could be. Listen as he shares the story behind building the Eleanor Rose International Film Festival, what it felt like to see it come to life, and where he hopes to take it next. I'm entertainment journalist Ashley Kane. Welcome to Frames of the Future. Jake, welcome to Frames of the Future.
Thank you so much for having me, Ashley.
You are the founder of the wonderful Eleanor Rose International Film Festival that we have been talking about and looking forward to throughout all these episodes. What made you want to start a film festival in the first place?
Yeah, so I've always been very innovative. I kind of always ask myself, why can't I do something? And my brain moves like a million miles per hour all the time. And last year, I think I was at like a coffee shop with my girlfriend, and it just like popped into my head because I walked past a movie theater, right? And I'm like, why can't I start a film festival? The most random thought in the world. But and then I went home, right? Usually these kind of thoughts just kind of move past me. I'm like excited about it for a little bit, but it moved past me. But a few days go by and I'm like, wait, like I actually want to do this. So whenever I have an idea, I don't know. I just something dawned on me for that, and I did so much research. I executed it, and I turned that little thought into my head into a reality.
Yeah, and talking about your research and everything you've put into this festival, how did you bring this to life? Like you said, it was just a little idea in your head, but how did you actually take it from this idea to an actual tangible thing?
Yeah. So to be honest, I didn't even know you could rent out theaters. I didn't know how any of it worked, right? But I used TikTok a lot. I did a lot of research on TikTok, on YouTube, on a lot of different things. But honestly, in the end, I just wanted to create a hub for local filmmakers to connect with filmmakers from all over the world. And what I did was I used what everyone should be doing right now. I'm very, very bullish on this. Everyone should be using social media to market their businesses. And I use social media to market the My Film Festival. And within, I'd say, a few days, we had a bunch of people follow us and already connecting with each other. And that's what I wanted to do. And yeah, so I use social media a lot for it. What I did was I found local film schools, other film festivals, and I just connected people from there. I followed them and kind of pitched what I had, my idea, my vision, and people believed in it. And yeah, that's pretty much the research that I did. And to be honest, I remember sitting at dinner after the film festival, and I just thought to myself, I'm like, wow, like I cannot believe I just pulled this off. But for anyone watching out there, this is your sign to take that crazy idea inside your head and execute it, because I promise you it's gonna pay off. And I kind of said that in my speech last year at the festival, that never stop innovating. It's just so special.
Yeah, I feel like social media is such a growing platform right now for uh, people who want to break into this entertainment industry to really put themselves out there and connect with other people to get into this industry. I think networking is such a big thing. And yeah, it's really cool how you like grew your social media to like 1,600 followers in such a short amount of time. How did you do that?
Yeah, like I said, I have a kind of a trick that a lot of businesses should be using, but they don't. And I've helped other businesses do this. Just kind of, my free time and my other entrepreneurial ventures. But what I did was, like I said, I just kind of found local film schools. For example, DeSales. Shout out to Sales University. A lot of talented filmmakers there. We interviewed a few as well. But yeah, I just went under their television and film Instagram pages and I followed everyone. And I'm a very big believer of, for marketing, let me put my product or service right in front of their eyes. And like I said, I wanted to create a kind of a hub for local filmmakers to connect with big filmmakers from around the world. And I have a great event that is great for filmmakers to network with each other, show the case of their work on the big screen in a historic theater. And yeah, I just wanted to place that idea right in front of them. And what better way to do that than just follow them and show it right to them?
Yeah, you've grown this festival so much, and you founded it just months before its debut and oversaw everything from submissions to promotions. As the founder, what was going through your mind when you stepped into the Roxy Theater that opening weekend?
Oh, I can't even describe how scared I was. It's really funny because I was just talking to my intern on the phone like 10 minutes before this. And I was talking to him and I said, I was so nervous because, what if my computer broke? What if I had nightmares leading up to the opening day? I'd say 5 different times between April 1st and May 31st last year, when the festival happened. I had about 5 or 6 nightmares just stuff that of people not showing up, of my computer breaking, my computer just not charging. Or like the sound system, because when I went to go try out the films there the first day, um, we couldn't get the sound to work and we couldn't get it to project correctly. And it was really, really scary. And this was only 2 weeks before the festival last year. And I almost had to go buy a new computer. And, there was just so many things. But like I said, I was so nervous walking in there that day. I didn't sleep the night before at all, not even a little. I was up the whole night preparing, and so I was a little sleep deprived. I'll say that, and I explained that in my speech. But I'll say one thing to all you guys too, because you're all filmmakers who probably listen to this. You're all very, passionate about what you do, and if you're creating a film, if you're creating a business, if you're doing anything, if you are so excited to work on it where you don't even feel a need to sleep, then you know that thing's for you. Because when I created this film festival, I had for the first 4 or 5 nights when I was creating the website, creating the logo, I did not sleep a one wink. But guess what? I wasn't tired at all because I was so excited to create something. And I really feel like it paid off.
Yeah, it definitely did. And was it as nerve-wracking as you expected it to be?
I would say, I'd say by the end of the first block, I
Mhm.
was good. I was at
Okay,
that point, it was just exciting. And I was going, all the
good.
filmmakers were coming up and talking to me. And I got to meet so many brilliant minds. Yeah, I'm the mastermind behind it. I put all this together, but the real stars of this project, it's all the filmmakers that submitted their work and came out to support me. And came out to support their fellow filmmakers. DeSales had a ton of students sit with each other and they all cheered each other on. They all stayed. It was a long day last year. It was long. It was We're breaking it up this year. It's going to be shorter blocks, more downtime so people don't have to stare at a screen for 4 hours. But it was a long day. It was like 8 or 9 hours last year, and those students stuck with each other and always supported each other. And when I saw that, I was just it made it all kind of worth it, I guess. But kind of going off what you said though, the nerves, literally within the first hour, I already had to put out a fire because my ticket website uh went down. The link stopped working. I don't know if anyone's watching this who tried to buy tickets last year right before it because Yeah, the ticket the
Oh
website
my
went
gosh.
down and it was my first big tragedy. And I it was really upsetting because I wanted to sell out the theater for those filmmakers to get the support that they deserved because they worked so hard on their films. And this year, we could assure you that that will not happen, and there will be a packed theater for all of the filmmakers to see their work on the big screen.
Yeah, and talking about this year, you're now going into your second year hosting the festival. With the festival consistently growing, what are the differences from last year to this year?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm huge with innovation. I don't do a single thing in my life without thinking about how I can innovate it, how I can make it better, everything like that. A huge inspiration of mine is Bob Iger, who's a CEO of the Walt Disney Company. I was on a Zoom call with him 2 years ago, and he said to us, innovate or die. And that pretty much means if you're not innovating, you're gonna get left behind. You might as well die. Not really, but you know what I mean. And so literally I started planning this year's festival that night at the end of last year's festival. I went down to the beach with my parents, and that whole night, all I could think about is how next year I could innovate it. And what I decided to do is this year we're going to have a red carpet event with the red carpet event's going to be at the networking party. So you're going to walk in, you're going to step onto a dazzling red carpet, and everyone's going to dress to impress. And then Ashley, who's actually interviewing me right now, is going to be interviewing some of the filmmakers on the red carpet. We're going to have another red carpet correspondent as well. You'll get to stand on the red carpet and tell your story about your film and take pictures, and we'll have some news outlets there to write articles. And then everyone's gonna kind of be they can network with each other. It's gonna be catered, and then we're gonna have an industry leader who that announcement will be soon about who it is. You don't want to miss it. It's very, very cool. But yeah, you get to ask questions to the industry leader. They're gonna do a lecture on storytelling and just kind of how the industry works. Yeah, so that's Friday night, and then Saturday is when the the first block is, and then what I also decided to do is create a television pilot category and a feature film category. So one lucky filmmaker is going to have their feature film, a 2 hour length film, premiered at the historic Roxy Theater in front of a packed audience. Um, yeah, and then after that, we decided to do a live frames of the future episode there with the winner of the best overall film, and then the feature film director as well. So yeah, a lot of great stuff this year, and I'm so excited for everyone to see it.
Yeah, I really appreciate how you're not just making it a film festival, you are combining it to all media sources. You have, journalism with the red carpet correspondence, and you have the podcast radio, uh, and just also like film with the screenings. Like, I feel like it's definitely a diverse event to attend, and it's definitely worth it for all filmmakers who have submitted to come and like it's a great networking opportunity, as you said, that there's going to be industry leaders. And yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to really like meet people, get your foot in the door, and yeah, get experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, as a lot of people know, the film industry, it's tough. But it doesn't have to be.
Mhm.
If what I'm a big believer of James Cameron, who directed Titanic. I'm sure everyone on this podcast knows who James Cameron is. But, he says to be a movie director, all you have to do is pick up a camera and shoot something. And all of a sudden you're a movie director. So when you're at a film festival like this and you're networking with fellow creative minds just like yourself, you're going to meet up with them, and you might be that person's feature AD or gaffer or you know writer or anything else, you know what I mean? So it's so cool to see these people meet each other at the festival and then go ahead and make movies with each other. And it did happen last year where these people met there and they worked together on a film this year.
Yeah, I mean, as the founder, it must be really cool to see kind of like that your idea that you had in your head and now it's brought to life and seeing that it's actually like positively impacting these people and you're allowing these people to have to gain these connections and maybe even, as you said, like down the line, work with each other and help each other in their career. It must have been like, how did that feel?
I gotta say, it I think about it every single day, and that's not even it's not even like a joke. I every single day I think about it on how special it is, and I guess it hasn't really hit with me yet. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just I don't know. Like I said, I don't think any idea is too crazy. And anyone I remember I pitched this to my parents like last year and they're like, "You're crazy. Like what are you doing?" Like, but it's so crazy that I executed this and now there is a platform for diverse filmmakers to work together and on how we got submissions from all these different countries. And never in a million years did I think I would be able to like last year I interviewed a great filmmaker from Iran who submitted a film and I got to hear about stuff that was going on in their country and obviously terrible stuff happening right now, but you get to connect with a different audience around the world, diverse people, all walks of life, and I just never thought I'd be able to have an outlet to do that. And it's just so special to me and I like I said, I can't even really put it into words. I know I'm rambling a little bit here, but it's kind of like an emotional. It really is emotional when I talk about it because I love filmmaking, I love storytelling, I love people of all diverse cultures, and it's very. I grew up traveling. I just last week I was in Florida with my buddy who I brought over from England who lives here now, and I've always loved you know all that type of stuff, and it's so cool that I get to kind of put that together now and create like a platform for that.
Yes, definitely. I appreciate you opening up about that because you never know, someone out there might have a similar idea to you, but they're too scared to even go after that. So just to see you just having such a small idea in your head and executing it and making it into this big event is so inspiring. And do you have any advice to those who want to create a film festival themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. You live once. I think of a quote that kind of goes like this. You know, on your gravestone, the only thing that separates the year you're born and the year you died is a little dash. No one else is gonna remember anything else. I there's so many people that lived 100 years ago no one remembers. So if you try something and fail, are people gonna remember it? Probably not. So if you have that vision of wanting to work in film or break in the industry or just take that crazy idea, and I know you said about creating a film festival, if I have any advice for that, but I'm gonna do it more off making films right now because um I do think storytelling is it's a medium that's never gonna go away. It's gonna be treasured forever. And it's all about how you innovate it. And I was talking to Richard Klubeck, who he's an agent at UTA. He represents Wes Anderson and a bunch of other people as well. And he was telling me that he's seen great movies on YouTube, and he's seen terrible movies at Cannes, the film festival, and you know, it's all about how the filmmaker innovates the story. So if I could give any advice to any filmmaker out there, it's just you gotta just innovate. Innovate, 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 innovate or die.
Mhm. Innovative.
Always take that idea in your head. It doesn't matter if it's about a ghost being chased by aliens. I don't know. That's a crazy topic. But I can promise you one thing right now, there is a way to make it happen. And don't let anyone tell you there isn't,
Mhm.
because there is. Because if you know how many people called me crazy when I wanted to create this film festival. And I have a lot of other ideas in my head about, other stuff in film and media that I want to do that I've been getting called crazy recently for. And you know what? I don't,
But hey, like
who
you were going
cares?
crazy and look at you now. You created it. So, yeah.
It's all, well, and I'll add one more thing
Okay.
because an execution without, or a vision without an execution is just a hallucination. You could have as many visions as you want, but if you don't execute it, it's just a hallucination. And like I said, if I give anyone advice, take that crazy idea and just write it down. That's your first step. Just write it down and you could go from there.
Jake, you named the festival after Eleanor Rose. Who is Eleanor Rose?
I'm so glad you asked. Yeah, so Eleanor Rose, she was my grandmother. She unfortunately passed away in 2019, but she was my best friend growing up. And I know a lot of people say that about their grandparents, and I just she was so meaningful to me. And we would always watch movies together, always watch TV. I'd go over to her house and watch Dancing with the Stars with her every Monday night because that's just what I did. And she's the reason why I wanted to get into film and everything like that. She's just so special to me. And I'm just, I'm just so grateful to have had her in my life. And I know she is so proud of me and I know she's looking down on me right now and just smiling and taking a picture on her old, little camera that she had. And I really, I believe that my Aunt Jean, who is 90 years old, is coming to the festival this year, and that's Eleanor Rose's sister. So yeah,
That's
I think
so
she's
exciting.
gonna get wheeled in. So I'm very excited to have her there because it's kind of like, a
Yeah.
part of me is, a part of Eleanor Rose is there, and that's so special. But yeah, she is my best friend, and when I was coming up with a name for the festival, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. So yeah.
I know that you said that like you always encourage filmmakers to bring their families, so it's so like touching to see that it was like kind of founded on family as well. So that's really like special and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Without family, without friends or loved ones, it's hard to make a good story. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like all my storytelling is based off experiences I had with my family and everything like that. And I have so many movies that I could make because of Eleanor Rose. And, family's so important. And that's why I encourage everyone to bring their family to the festival. And it really, truly will be a day to remember because if you bring your grandparents, there's a good chance they were at the Roxy Theater back in the 50s or 60s when it was popping back in the old theater days. Because I know Eleanor Rose was, so it's very cool.
Yeah, of course. And how has the Eleanor Rose International Film Festival helped you in your own journey into the entertainment industry?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely helped me a lot. I would do this forever. Doing this film festival. I want to keep growing it more and more and more and more. Like I said, I'm very entrepreneurial. I can't predict tomorrow. No one can. You know, how I think of it this way. I know I feel like I'm giving so many quotes, but a quote by Steve Jobs that I love is you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards, right? So I did not expect to create this film festival. But you know what? It's all adding up now. And anyone out there, if you just think there's no vision going forward, just understand that there is. And, I know it's a little off topic, but it kind of goes with it that, I don't know what's in store for me as an entrepreneur or a filmmaker or anything like that, but I want to grow this film festival as much as I can and branch out into many different things and just make an impact in Hollywood and honestly in the world.
Yeah, definitely. And we're all on our own path. You were talking about the growth of Eleanor Rose International Film Festival. What do you hope that festival will look like in 5 years from now?
Well, what I really hope is that, I want in the future, I want it to be a place where feature films could be bought and distributed. I mean, that's kind of you know, my big goal. And like I said, I always want to dream big. Why not dream big? If you're gonna dream at all, you might as well dream big. And I'd love to have it as like a week-long event, have many different amenities in the film festival. And I would love to have it have a lot of educational stuff as well, and kind of targeted towards student filmmakers, maybe even high school filmmakers, having workshops for them, or even just other filmmakers workshops, and then have a lot more feature films being played, distributors, everything like that, and be a hub for films to get bought and distributed theatrically, because I'm a huge fan of theatrical screenings, as I hope everyone is that's listening to this podcast, because we need to keep the theatrical stuff going, because that's what the industry is, and it's just watching a movie in the theaters is so special. And
Yeah,
that's why I love my film festival, because indie filmmakers get to see their film on the big screen.
yeah, with like all of their loved ones and all like people who can they don't even know are reacting to their films and loving it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just such a special experience to have. And yeah, I hope that movie theaters can continue to survive and show that. And I know you were talking about the growth and making workshops and just ex keep expanding it as much as you can. You've already expanded it with this very podcast. What inspired you to take the festival into the audio space?
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm always at innovation. We should just rename this Innovation Podcast. But
Yeah.
no, I, so the film festival, it gives filmmakers from diverse platforms to showcase their films, right? But now, Frames of the Future gives filmmakers from all walks of life an outlet to share their creative process and their stories and what filmmaking is like in their country. We talked to Gabriel last week, who lives in London,
Mhm.
who it's just a very different film culture there, or Nicole from Venezuela.
Yeah.
And we have a lot more episodes planned with a lot of great filmmakers from a lot of different places. So it's just, I felt like this was the next right step to continue innovating the film festival.
Yes, definitely. And you mentioned how you wanted to give filmmakers an opportunity to share their creative vision to a global audience. Why was this so important to you?
Because I like to think the filmmakers are the most passionate people about their craft in the world to ever exist. And filmmakers are just so creative, and people make these films, they'll put them on YouTube or anything like that, right? But no one knows the backstory with the films. No one knows what I'm going to use Gabriel for an example, because I love that episode. No one knows what he went through to make that film, the budget, everything like that. But now we get to educate other filmmakers, but also give someone like Gabriel a platform to share his story. And I just think that's so special, because I want to teach the next generation of filmmakers about all of this, and we need to all continue to make a difference
Mhm.
in this industry, because that's the only way we're going to be able to keep moving forward. And I think this is a perfect opportunity to.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it gives like aspiring filmmakers a platform to see what it actually is like. And maybe it makes it easier for them when they finally step into those shoes of director, editor, PA, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that we are, we can help the next generation to make this industry like faster, better, and more efficient.
absolutely.
Yeah. Um, and I would be remiss if I didn't ask about the film selection process. Kind of pivoting here, how can a filmmaker's project stand out amongst all the other submissions?
Yeah, so this is actually a really good question, because um I'm a firm believer of, you know, we have a great team of judges that are industry professionals who judge the films. But we also have a few judges who are just normal, everyday people who are just consumers because theatrically, everyone going to see your movie is going to be a random consumer, a normal person. And if a normal person can watch your movie and be entertained, you know it's good. And so yeah, if with a quality submission, I look at is it a good three act structure? Can you tell exactly, when the first act ends, when the second act ends, what the climax is, if the characters are well rounded, if there's conflict in every single scene because there should be. And is it just leading the story on? And am I hooked the whole time? And that's exactly what my judges look for and what my consumers look for. And the industry leader is going to do a great lecture on this at the networking event. So if you're a selected filmmaker to the Eleanor Rose, I highly, highly, highly suggest coming to the networking event because you'll get to meet some great people, but also learn from great people.
Jake, what are you most looking forward to the second time around going into this festival?
I think I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing the filmmakers have their work on the big screens and seeing their reactions to it. And what I really, really enjoy, because I know I did this back in my filmmaking days, I'd always take a picture of the screen when my film was up on the big screen at film festivals. And when I see that, I'm like, wow, I gave them the platform to do this. And that's just so cool. And I'm just very, very excited to meet everyone. I'm very approachable. So is Ashley, obviously. And if anyone's like, when you guys come to the festival, please come up and say hi. I could definitely help everyone out and everything. All my co-workers who are going to be helping us run the festival, say hi to everyone. Everyone's so friendly. Everyone wants to help you. We're all humans. You know,
Yeah.
I like I said, the filmmakers are the stars of the show, and none of this would be possible without you guys submitting your films. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so excited to meet everyone in person. Like it's gonna be an amazingly professional and fun weekend. So I'm so excited. And with that being said, we're moving on to the game segment.
Oh,
And
we're doing the
as
game.
everyone knows, it's the Would You Rather film edition. Jake, I'm gonna ask you 6 questions, rapid fire, no explanation, no thoughts, just whatever you like decide, stick with it. Ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Would you rather review 100 short film submissions in one night or organize the entire screening schedule in one day?
Definitely the 100 film submissions in one night.
Okay. Would you
Well,
rather?
wait, can I elaborate on that?
Okay, sure.
Or is that not part of the game? I'm so sorry.
It's really not part of the game,
It's
but
not
since
part of
you're
the
the
game,
founder,
guys.
I'll give you an exception.
Thank you. Well, because this is an educational thing, and people might want to hear this. So
Okay.
another big part of film festivals is part of the screening process is making sure that you get the exact time that you need for the blocks because the blocks are only so many hours, so stuff needs to line up very like the length of the films need to add up to a certain thing, and it's a lot harder than people think it is. So I'd way rather review 100 submissions in one night. So
Gotcha.
sorry about that. Go on, go
No,
on.
no, that's good to know. All right, would you rather
Educational.
discover an incredible first-year filmmaker or bring back a past winner with a new film?
I'd probably that's a tough one. I'd say probably connect with a new filmmaker.
Okay. Would you rather have more submissions than you can handle or fewer but all high quality?
I'd say fewer but high quality.
Would you rather deal with a last minute film dropout or a last minute venue issue?
Oh, last minute film dropout. Without a venue, there's no event. So
True. Would you rather accidentally play the wrong film at a screening or have the sound cut out halfway through?
wrong film at the screening.
Would you rather know exactly how the festival turns out or figure it out as you go?
figure it out as I go because life's a journey and who doesn't love an adventure?
Thank you so much, Jake, for joining our podcast today.
Of course, thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to meet all of you guys at the Eleanor Rose Film Festival. And if anyone has any questions at all, please reach out to me, reach out to Ashley, reach out to the festival Instagram page, our email address. We're very, very open, and we love to have questions, and we really look forward to seeing everyone. So thank you, everyone, for listening as well.
Thank you. I'm entertainment journalist Ashley Kane. Thanks for watching.